to order at 3:03 p.m. Thank you for showing up, Scott. Okay. Today we're going to talk about capital budgets, have a general budget review, and a discussion about mask ordinance indoors. So let's jump into capital. You want, can I have one for the Scott? Thank you. So first one up is capital building plan. Here's Joe coming in. Okay, so the capital building plan, there's been a few additions. At least the garage doors and openers for the firehouse that Rich talked about last week. It kind of changes our fund scenario a bit. What do you think, Marco?
Well, so that would be for next year. Yeah, it was the 80,000, right?
Well, there was 25 already in for the furnace, so it's a 70. It's not, you know, it's a $55,000 swing.
Right.
And so the furnace, is it going to be needed to be pushed out to some other date?
Well, so this is where I was starting to go, but we said that it wasn't really warm. You know, the furnaces work fine. The furnace works fine. It, you know, oil has not gotten much more efficient, you know, where some gas furnaces, it's worth just changing because you can get, you know, more efficient furnaces that will pay back in 2 or 3 years. The problem is it's like I talked about with the trucks is, you know, if the furnace goes next week.
Then you just got to do it. Yeah.
Right. But so, and we've had this discussion on the other side, you know, it's like at school, we have 2 of them. So we put them off, even though they should have been replaced 5 or 8 years ago on the plan, just because we figured we got 2. So if one goes, hopefully they both won't go. But so it's up to how you guys want to deal with it too. And, you know, it used to be if the money was in there for, you know, if we did it 3 or 4 years down the road, just you let us do it 2 or 3 years down the road, and it wouldn't have to come out of operational or anything. So that's up to you folks. I have trouble replacing something if it still works and it's still performing well. If I was calling Travis every week saying, Travis, we've got the heat at the firehouse, then the gang's all here now.
Sorry.
You know, then I would be, you know, I would think different, but well, we're not having any issues. You know, I don't see.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't. So, but again, that's, you know, that's your guys' decision, or tell me, you know, if I'm thinking wrong, or if it's not what you want me to do, then.
So Marco, are we going to add the 25-26 year onto this? Since last, I mean, we always usually do.
I have 26, 27.
Oh, I didn't print that.
Did it not? Oh, it didn't print. Maybe it didn't print out right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. It does go out to 26, 27. So you can move things out to that, and then I can reprint it. Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, the ones I printed on, I didn't.
What I
realize
printed
the
and
garage I
at my office are printed 4 columns.
Yeah.
Rich, the doors and the openers, is that based on a quote, a guesstimate?
So we had a door opener fail on us. So while the guy was here fixing, he said, give me a rough number, not the number you would quote, because I needed, you know, we'll have to go out to bid. So I don't want you to give me your bid, so everybody said, oh, I'll come in $1 cheaper. So this was a rough estimate based on hopefully that things don't get worse over the winter. But I told him it wouldn't be till next, you know, July that we can put it out to bid or do the work.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not just a number out of the air, it's an actual number from the person who provides the service.
And the doors are made out of what?
Well, they're aluminum or metal now, metal.
And you're proposing,
I'd like to get fiberglass, because I think these are starting to get a little rust hold in them.
right,
I think some of what it is, they salt for us there to keep the parking lot.
mhm,
And what happens is, truck plows, salt there and it splashes up because it's funny to see all these little rust pinholes starting. And again, I could probably go another year if I had to, but I just, they're starting to look bad too. And so I said, you gotta have to either paint them or,
right.
replace them.
So why don't we put the furnace out 25, 26 and see where, if that's just so it's, knowing that that's something we're probably gonna have to do. Is everybody all right with
How
that?
much was the furnace again?
25,000. You okay with that, Joe? Okay,
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Sounds good. As long as I got
Okay. okay. Then we have let's jump back to the police station, which is the floor tile and the exterior doors.
So, yeah, that's something that was already in there. The other thing I just wanted to add to this was, and it's not on there, but if you look back in the book for 2021, we had $14,000 in there to do the lights, the ceiling tiles. That was never done. We were holding off to hear back from Vermont Energy, I guess. I don't know if Sarah was doing that. Never really went anywhere with that. So I'm not sure what you want to do. I was talking with Shelley about it. The lights in the ceiling tile, they're still working. So at this point, we talked about it and we can probably just bypass that until, I don't know, the ceiling starts falling in, I guess. But right now everything's fine. So I'm not sure what was going on with Vermont Energy. I don't even know if they even came here and looked at stuff.
Efficiency Vermont.
Efficiency Vermont, I didn't go on that one. Travis went to you went, did you go?
No, I
Did they ever show up?
He must have went on his own.
Okay,
I
yeah,
didn't
no,
go.
no, that was a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
I have been, I failed.
No, but Efficiency Vermont doesn't seem to be super responsive to some of this either. I don't understand.
Well,
We're a targeted community,
Right.
but they were here, right?
Right, and then, but they're waiting on me, and I
Okay.
dropped the ball.
So they did tour the police station, Randy?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I didn't go with him.
Okay, I have no.
He had to leave, not shortly after.
Oh,
you
you
did
may not have got that far?
Okay.
So back to where I said, so at this point, we can hold off. Whenever they decide they want to come in here and if they see something drastic, I guess we can address it then. But the way things are going with everything else, that the way I look at it, I'm okay that if that 14,000 was in there, to move that to some other place or offset the whole overall budgets, or however you guys want to do that, and we'll deal with it later. And we'll just stick with the what's planned for 22, 23.
Well, at some point, we're probably gonna need to put that in, so.
Right.
And then the things that are planned for this year, I know it's less money, but are they things that need to be done sooner than the ones we skipped over last year of the lights and the ceiling tile?
I'm sorry, Vicky.
So now the one that you've got for this year is the floor tile and the exterior doors. So that will be done before the ones that were planned for the upgrades from last year. Does this make sense? Or should there be some flopping,
I suppose.
You guys gotta tell us. We don't know. So is the lighting and the ceiling tile more important than the floor? If you're only gonna do one this year, which one should we do?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry, Vicky, but that's.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it could be here. It just keeps cutting in and out. So I'm only getting bits and pieces. I'm putting it together. No, I would, at this point, if we have a choice, we're just going to go with the exterior doors and stuff, because they are starting to, I believe, rot out some at the bottom. So yeah, if I have a choice, we're just going to go ahead and move forward with the floor tile and the exterior doors, and we'll hold off on the other stuff.
And the siding is still 24, 25. No, yes.
Yeah, and that, obviously we'll get probably a closer, when it gets closer, we'll do another estimate. Only because we did something different. I can't remember what you guys call it. I don't know if Travis remembers, but it's not vinyl on there. It's something else. And then the way prices are. So it's not going to be the whole police station that's going to need it, because we just did the garage this last year because we had siding that was literally falling off. So we'll have to, look into that, and maybe in 23 and stuff, or maybe this year I'll have Dave come up and look at it with Travis and, figure out what we think and, keep it in there, or maybe push it out. And obviously the way prices are now, I'm sure that $10,000 is on the low side.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to get the lighting and the lights and the ceiling tile back in.
Okay.
And I think they probably should go in 23, 24.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
agree?
Was
Ford,
like
Ford,
14.
what do you
Lights,
think?
lights and ceiling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
14, back to 14,000.
yeah, we hope.
Is that something we're gonna have Vermont Efficiency or whoever it is then look at it and give their recommendations, or are we just gonna hire someone and do it? This is,
What did you want, what were you looking for in terms of a recommendation from them?
I'm sorry.
When you're saying are they gonna come and give us a recommendation, what sort of thing were you?
Yeah, because I know when we originally had it, and I could be wrong, but when it was brought up, and again, I could be wrong, but my understanding was that Vermont Efficiency, we were going to hold off because they were going to look at all the buildings, and they would include the police department. If they say, yeah, maybe this lighting will help out better, or something like that, that's what we were going to wait and go on. I don't know how they work.
Did we get any recommendations from Efficiency Vermont?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not for the police department. I understand that. But like for the town, didn't they go to the town hall? Yeah,
Yeah. The brick building
Yeah.
okay,
here.
all right. So what else? Do you see anything else in the 26th through 26 through 27 that is going to be needed at this point?
Not that hopefully I'm going to be needing. If I don't see the police department needing, I'll go over this with Mike. And again, I normally have Dave, since he's the maintenance guy too, just walk through and give us thoughts and ideas on how things are. So right now I can't say.
Okay,
I don't foresee it, I guess.
Sarah,
So we're adding lights and ceiling tiles to the police station budget for 23-24.
correct.
How much are we budgeting?
14, what we had,
14,000.
we don't know.
Okay.
We, if I may,
Please.
so in 21, the year we're in now, I see at the brick building, we're budgeting for a furnace and the wells for 67,000. So is there a plan to have the furnace done, or again, just
That's
to,
dependent upon your wells.
Yeah,
That is all in one room.
yeah.
So we're gonna have to decide what you wanna do.
So we're waiting for the,
For
if
that.
we don't spend that, that's gonna free up.
we're gonna
Yeah.
spend way over that
Right.
on all of this.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that, the well is gonna be
But
expensive.
are we able to use some of that ARPA money for the well?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
We hope so.
I know.
But
And
So this picture could look better if the money's not taken out of here. To some,
Well, I'm not sure it's-
Not
it might.
that we would move it, but
Right.
realistically. it could.
So we need probably storage capacity in the maintenance room at the brick building for water. And it's all gonna depend on what we, and to get that storage capacity, we need to change the furnace out, because there's a lot of huge old type furnaces. So we need to
Yeah.
reconfigure that whole, it's really based on the well. So until we get the well figured out, we don't know what to do.
Gotcha.
And depends on how, they don't think that we're gonna get a great amount of, they think it's gonna be a deep well
Mhm.
and not a huge flow.
Right, the well, water treatment system,
Mhm.
and furnaces.
Yeah.
So you need,
All in that one little room. Your furnaces will be smaller, because most of the new ones are.
Yeah, that looks like a monster in there.
Oh,
they're
there's
giant.
dual. Yeah.
So it's all kind of intertwined, but I'm guessing for that building, we're gonna be over as it is. For this year.
right.
All right. Everybody, anything else on the police station?
All set, unless Mike can think of anything. Okay.
Okay, so let's then jump to the highway department. So we have the transfer station, which we did the paving for this year.
Yeah.
And we have nothing out in the transfer station for the next 5 years.
Oh, now, I haven't looked that far ahead yet, but, yeah, so it'll be
Well,
something.
You should plug in something
Okay.
that you think is gonna, need an upgrade, need a fail.
Yep. Okay.
And put it out, not into next year.
Right.
And get that to Marco, okay?
All right.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on the transfer station? Okay, let's go talk about the town garage. Which we have 20,000 in for more paving next year to finish up. And everybody who said I've talked to loves a new pavement, why didn't you finish? And I said, because of the budget.
Yeah,
So it will be done,
Yeah.
but it's so nice there now.
we love it. Everybody that comes in has loved it. It's been great. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for spreading it out over 2
Oh,
years.
yeah. No problem.
Okay, so we have a new roof looming in 23-24.
Yeah.
And that is a definite necessary.
Definitely.
Is it leaking?
Yes.
How badly?
About the same as it has been since I started. I mean,
How many places is it leaking?
3 or 4.
What is it leaking onto? Into buckets? I don't know. Where is it?
It leaks onto the floor,
But it's not leaking on anything electronic or where you're gonna,
not far from the drill press that we have in there, but I mean,
Is it a hazard because it
no, but
okay.
I'd like to keep it in there
Mhm.
for that, for sure.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand if there's any way we can patch it so it isn't leaking for another year and a half,
Right,
I
I can look into it.
mean, maybe some just knowing that it's a patch that's gonna only have to last for a
Yeah.
short period of time.
Yep.
It just doesn't seem like a leaky building is a good thing for us to have.
Right.
Okay, and then we have the new heating system in 24-25.
Yep,
And so did,
that should probably. I would revise that, I guess. I think that our heating systems there are fine.
we could probably, how
There's
old,
3 different furnaces in
really?
there. Yeah,
You
one
think they're all
forced hot
old?
air, one forced hot water, and one waste oil.
Oh,
They're all different.
interesting.
I don't know which furnace he had put in for to replace, but if I had a choice, it'd be the hot air one, but
Interesting.
yeah.
So did the energy audit did they go to the town garage?
Yeah, they went.
Okay, so we need to get those recommendations.
Yeah.
So let's leave that there, because if it can save us a lot of energy, it might be something that's worth doing.
Yeah.
Because obviously, everybody wants us to move away from oil.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Any other questions about the highway before we move on to just town buildings? Okay. All right, so Travis, we're still talking to you and Jeanette. All right, we're at the town hall. And we're supposed to be doing windows this year. Yes, Jeanette.
But we still have the handicap ramp.
Windows, yeah, that should have been on the handicap.
Where,
It
yeah,
probably fell off because it was on the year before.
right,
Yeah.
For 95, but that included the steeple, but, what we got for the ramp was what, 26,000? Adds up to the 20,000 for windows.
Well, we can't add it to this year because.
No, we can't.
It would have to be for next year.
I'm sorry, 22, 23.
Yeah, so how much was it for,
26 for the
26,000.
ramp,
For the
which
ramp.
hopefully will be done in the spring,
okay.
hopefully. And I don't even know if we can order windows to have windows here for this
Right.
fiscal year.
Right, windows are gonna
And
be as
those are
much as-
totally custom all the
Yeah,
way.
they're gonna be as much as that ramp. They're gonna be 25, 30,000.
But the windows are, I think that we need to get the windows spec'd and ordered, at least get the lead time on them, as soon as possible, and they probably won't be installed till, so the ramp, the steeple and the ramp, we had budgeted 95,000. So the
Right.
steeple came in at, do we remember?
Wasn't that?
It wasn't
as
anywhere near
expensive, 'cause
that.
It was a repair, not
I
a
know.
replacement. In the 30s, maybe,
Yeah.
if that.
I don't even think it was
I
that
don't
much.
think it was that
I
much.
thought it was like
For the-
20 or high teens or 20 something.
Travis,
Travis.
Yeah.
Pioneer timber frames. Yeah.
That probably was like 8,000, 10,000, but you know.
It was pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
I think we have money left in this year's.
Yeah, that's why we have, like, we're sitting on 159
Mhm.
without funding, without moving the last year's, we haven't put the appropriation in yet, the 80,000, so we're.
So I know that was way below what we had planned. So to get those windows in for next fiscal year, we got to get them ordered and get a delivery date so that we can get them installed. Yes,
It was 10,600.
10,600. That's great.
30,000.
Yeah. Okay. So does the board agree with that? That we should get the windows ordered, spec'd and ordered, and because it's going to take them a long time.
Yeah.
Joe is not there. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, you agree, Scott?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then,
So we put that, what year should we put that in?
well, it's coming, the windows are already in 21, 22. But my
Oh, right,
point is, we
yeah,
won't even
yeah.
get them probably till,
Yeah,
yeah,
so let the year fall off the.
right.
the
And
chart.
hopefully the ramp will be done in,
Yeah,
yes.
in this one, which was supposed to be done in last.
Yeah.
Okay. And town hall. And I think the doors on the town hall are really expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think we should put in, I mean, are we talking a couple $1,000s?
I believe so.
We should probably put one out like every 4 years, because it gets so much weather,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
That-
Put another
the frame
door
on that
in.
one is not the greatest.
huh?
The frame on that one's not the greatest, so.
Okay. We should put some money out in 23, 24 to probably replace that door, because it's already deteriorating.
Yes.
Okay,
town hall,
yes, town hall door.
23, 24,
Mhm.
how much?
Let's put, hi, Joe. Let's put 4,000, because who knows? I love the wooden door, but they just don't hold up well.
No.
Or the metal ones. Fiberglass is the only way to go.
So
How much did you say for the six?
4,000. Does that seem reasonable?
Town hall door, 4,000.
Yeah. Okay,
This is the door to the kitchen.
No, the front
Front
door.
the front door.
Side
The
door.
door that's like 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
Mhm. What else for the town hall? Do we know?
Chest
Air
freezer.
conditioning?
What'd you say?
Is it air conditioning?
Well, you'll have windows that will work.
We can open the windows now.
Right.
There you go.
Fans, window fans, and I mean, we haven't been using it lately, but in the summertime.
It gets fairly warm.
Really warm in there.
Yeah.
So if you're having an event, that.
Well, we could probably, I don't know.
I think you probably ought to put something in for some painting on it. Some more painting,
Interior, exterior,
exterior.
okay?
Yeah.
And what
A lot
year,
of it- A lot of it that hasn't been run it's all wood, so it's starting to really chip.
so what year should we
Like
put
around
that
the
in?
door and all.
Mhm.
Trim.
Okay, let's put it with the door and we'll do painting then too. And how much of the building is that? Is mostly trim, but it includes
Yeah,
having to get people up on,
yeah. The
Lifts.
sockets under the sockets, yeah.
how much, guess?
We're gonna
Are we
replace the
still-
trim when you do the windows. And it would probably be better off to use AZAC or something like that, so you never have to paint it again.
Historical building.
There's nothing historical about the building once they changed it. Well, you
I
also,
say,
you have AZAC up on the steeple
so these stay,
because it keeps on rotting.
10,000, I mean,
Yeah.
they'll have,
Let's put 10,000,
What are we looking at now?
23, 24 with the door. It means the right time to do it, right?
yeah, yeah.
So were you saying 10 altogether? or-
14.
14,
Okay.
front door and trim paint.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, that's good. Again, if you see anything in the next few weeks, it should be out further, let us know. And now we have the town office to consider.
1 second, Chris.
Oh, it's just Dan.
We looked into the historic aspect and they say in the historic rules that if in fact the materials are rotting, that you can use other materials. So using PVC trim around the buildings, as you have already done in the steeple, because that was a question at that time. So we don't want the stuff to continue to rot because it's ruining the windows and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Town office. So,
We didn't use the 8,000 because I believe that water leak in our water line that we found this spring was a lot of our water problem out back under Michael's office.
I know it.
is it improved?
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, that was 8,000.
yeah.
Yes,
I didn't end up doing that.
but we also didn't do the water filter system here. Did we?
No,
That was the year 2021 and that was $3,500. Is that? I
No,
don't
we
recall the necessity for that. Is the water,
that was I believe it was a softener, right?
Yeah. Just take the iron out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember why, like,
I
they
think-
don't even drink the water.
They're not drinking it anyway, so what was it for? Was it for the plumbing?
I thought it was for the, I mean, he's still changing the filters, right? Because the water runs very, very slowly in the bathrooms. Like sometimes.
But iron will also affect your furnace,
Yeah,
your hot
true.
water,
Yeah,
and it's gonna affect a lot of other systems.
okay.
And, Dover's famous for high iron, that's why, that's part of the idea behind the community system.
so we didn't do that.
We didn't do it, well, I know I got a quote somewhere at the office for it, though.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably Apple now dated by now, but we just didn't want it, it was like $10,000.
Mhm.
Well, we had only $3,500 in the
Yeah,
budget.
I think that was close to what the quote was for Lynn to come put a softener in. It came in well.
Should we do this now? Board, I mean, yes,
I think we spent around $3,000 for the historical society when we put it in. This is not a heavy duty system like we have it by place. It handles all of the buildings. So I think 3,500 is a feasible amount of money.
so if we put that in the water, could we drink the water and not have to buy bottled water? I don't know, I'm asking if anybody has any knowledge. Don't know,
Does this come
I-
under?
why don't you explore that,
I can
Travis,
ask,
thank
I
you.
mean, the water at the highway department's not drinkable anyway, so
Yeah, yours isn't, I meant here in this building,
but, I mean,
Yeah.
you're already paying for the service,
right,
the same.
well, but it's based on volume,
Oh, okay,
so. Not that this costs a lot of money, but,
right.
you know, if we're not drinking the water, why don't you investigate that?
Sure.
Yes,
Does this come under the grants for the water purification? Is something we can put in, a grant?
under the ones that they're announcing now, the federal ones?
Yeah.
I have no idea, there's no real specific information, they have no guidelines, they don't know how much, potentially, I mean, if this is so small, clearly the issue with the library and the town hall is one that we would want to try to go for. But this is a small, I mean, there's a ton of federal paperwork with this stuff too,
Mhm.
for 3,500 or whatever it is. Why don't you figure that out, call them and see, okay,
Figure we're so deep with the town, with the library and so forth, maybe we can tag this along.
maybe. But there's no PFAS here though, to our knowledge, so. Thank God, maybe. Okay, moving on, so the town office, we're supposed to be getting a signage in the front door this coming year.
That might be low, that was something I just I figured. Close to 1,000 for the front door. It's the green one out here, it's getting pretty rotten and it's getting warped, so.
Okay.
we're out of-
And we definitely need a new sign,
Yeah, I mean, that one out there is so spongy.
but we
falling apart,
see,
and When you do it, you might as well get Marco and.
I think we need to put more in
Capital for
based
whatever.
on what we just paid, or paying for the one at the library and Kids in the Country.
Do it 5,000,
For a front door and a sign,
sign it, because the sign there's signs on the side,
right,
you know, it's
Multiples.
like,
yeah,
I mean,
3, 4.
so maybe go to 3,500.
okay. Good with that, everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. What else with this building?
Front steps on Marco's side,
Yeah, they're kind of getting,
eventually.
Railing
Yeah,
be replaced.
yeah, when they do the front steps, yes.
Yeah.
It's all.
well, and I agree. I don't think we can put anything into next year's budget. The 22, 23, it would have to go 23, 24.
Okay,
That 80,000 for the doors is kind of blowing that all up big time.
Well, I can definitely put that off. for another year,
No,
too.
well, this is. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at what the numbers look like once Margot's got them all plugged in, and then we'll see what we have to do with capital.
and
What-
you have to,
So
you
we're
have to
talking
spend it, you
about-
have to spend it.
Stairs and railings for 23, 24?
No,
Yeah, for
Yes.
the town office, so that would be, I don't know,
and of course, that
Not
doesn't,
sure.
that one has the $100,000, 23, 24 has the roof
They
at the
won't be
garage.
precast. I mean, you just buy them and they come and sell.
yeah,
Mhm.
We could sell them ourselves.
Mhm.
because I think they're precast, the ones you have now, just.
Yeah.
Comes in, yeah.
Okay,
5,000.
what else do we need to do that we're aware of for capital building And at the moment. So plugging all that in, Marco, can we get
Sure.
a revised printout?
Should we put something for the stairs for the town
Yes.
office for 23, 24,
Yes,
5,000?
yeah. I don't know how much those are.
I'm looking.
What's Evans charging you for the rain?
Evans?
Hey, Vicky.
Yes,
So as you guys were talking and knowing that, about the, what we got here at the PD with deciding 24, 25, knowing that 10,000 isn't going to cover it. I honestly have no clue what it would cost. And if you're just throwing numbers in there, I don't know, did you want to make that a little bit higher now? Or?
no, because that year's got also has got the garage roof,
Okay.
which is
right.
leaking.
I mean,
That
I'm kind of like.
23, 24 is already tight now, but.
According to Home Advisor,
Mhm.
it costs anywhere from $900 to $5,000 to replace or install concrete steps.
Okay. Okay, so, but we should probably,
The average is 2,000.
yeah, I know, I agree that that's not gonna be enough siding money. I don't know. Unless we want, well, that's 24, 25. So yes, we can increase it. I think I was in the wrong column. So let's make that
I mean,
20.
Yeah, if you want, Vicky, I mean, next week you said to get numbers, maybe I can, maybe have
Yeah.
Dave and Travis
We'll adjust
walk
it.
around it. I mean, I'm just looking at my window and looking what I can see right now, and basically it looks fine. I think probably the last time, I'm gonna guess we can probably even put that off. Because when we walked around, Dave and I, when we did the garage and we looked at it all, I think for the most part, the rest of it's in pretty good shape, but I'll leave it up.
Well, it's in for
Bring it to
24,
the
25. So at this point,
Yeah,
we can leave it as it is. And then if we get another, and still, who knows, prices could double by then. We don't know, right?
Right.
Or not, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So are we changing something? at the
No.
application? Okay.
no,
yeah, so we're gonna try to print it out downstairs, but where we are now is 22, 23. We're negative 52,000. We go negative 130,000 in 23, 24. Negative 86,000 in 24, 25. And then we go back to positive 55 in 25, 26.
that's
That's
assuming that we do
assuming
80,000.
Correct. Yeah.
And then we have right now in the capital, it's 156 something.
We have 159 right now.
159.
So plus 80,
Plus
less
80.
what you're spending. Oh, perfect. So, thank you. So that's pretty much what it looks like.
So needs one. And one over the
I'm good. I'm looking at it. So. Thank you.
But the funds available will be going down because we have some things to complete this year, like by the 26,000 for the
Right.
ramp. You know. Okay.
So we would have to go to 22, 23. At least to be at zero, at least to be 130,000. Not 13 million, 130,000.
But do we need to do that? I mean, we have 159,000 right now in the account
Mhm.
without the 80,000 that is this year's transfer.
But we're adding 80. We're adding that 80, taxes raised
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
under 21, 22, but then you're spending 123 if we spend it.
So the 159 we have in the account right
Yeah.
now, Marco, doesn't include this year's fiscal
No.
years.
Doesn't.
So actually, in that account, we should have, I mean, if we'd moved the money, we would have $80,000 more. If we had moved the money. Am I wrong?
No, let me just see if maybe that formula might be screwed up.
I mean, if we've already.
Yeah, just because, right, you're gonna have it, because the 159 is like, it's just a placeholder as to where we are today, right? So you're gonna have the extra 80,
Right, so
Yeah.
we really have
right?
around $240,000
Yeah.
available
Right.
right now as a snapshot in
Right.
time. We have some expenditures coming out, but I don't think any of them are more than the 80. I think they're what the town
Right.
hall ramp and I don't know what other things we're gonna get done for the rest of this fiscal year. So I don't think I don't feel like we're gonna go negative to that level, because there's like an $80,000 difference.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to people?
Yep.
So the fund, yeah,
Trying to play with something.
sure.
Give me a second. Yeah, because we were supposed to end 2021 with 45,000 at the end of 6/30/21, based on what we were accounting for, but
Mhm.
we really ended up with 159.
Mhm.
So that's why it looks a little different. It's like we're plugging the 159. If we did everything that's on the spreadsheet, we should only have started the year with 45.
But we have 100,000
Right.
plus. Oh,
Correct.
So I don't
Right.
think it's gonna go
Right.
negative as badly.
Right. So I think you can keep the 80.
Okay. All right. Any questions about capital building plan? Rich is falling asleep.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you for coming.
Early morning.
Yeah, fire? No.
No, I went out to plow.
What?
I went out at 2 this morning to plow.
Oh, to
Oh,
plow.
Yeah, my commercial place.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so shall we move on to the capital equipment fund? And Rich can leave, I guess, after that. Because you don't do paving. Okay. Let's, let me get, it's in my book. Oh,
That's all right. No, you could both be in it. Just,
yeah.
you open it first, you're gonna have to make changes. All right.
Okay. All right, where shall we start? Let's talk, since they're at the top, let's start with highway. Highway,
Yeah, we could keep 220 in for the replacement of the 2016 10 line.
Mhm.
And I'd like to go up on the replacement of the 2015 Ford truck. Vendor prices have gone up quite a bit, so that's what that's accounting for. I looked into the replacement of the excavator. I'd like to do a little more research, so I'm gonna put it off for now. I'd like to do more research as far as getting it reconditioned or get a price on, get it rehabbed or, because that machine is gonna cost us more than what we just bought our grader for. And I think that's just crazy.
holy moly.
So, wow, and it's only got. That's the wheel one? Yeah. And our wheel excavator's got 3,000 hours on it. It doesn't see salt, so it's not rock. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides tightening up some pins and bushings and maybe replacing a hydraulic drive pump. I mean, I think we can get more life out of it than replacing it now.
How many years is it?
It's a 2009,
The excavator,
yeah,
208 it says here.
okay, yep,
Um,
yeah.
so,
They've done a head gasket on it already prior to me being here, but I mean, other than that, it's been. To keep up on the maintenance, it's been free.
okay, so you're pushing that out and adding to it.
Which, this is the excavator,
The excavator.
Yeah,
make it 24, 25?
23, 24.
23, it was in this,
Yeah,
in
It
our
wasn't
current
for
cap.
this year.
yeah, we were.
Yeah, it was in for
I
22,
just moved it
23.
out a year and raised
I'm
it up
seeing
in case.
If you go to last year,
Yeah,
so
the
we're-
town report.
Okay, okay.
this reflects the change made.
I just wanna have some time to look into getting a rehab, get a
Okay.
price on that.
Okay,
If that's,
no, I'm just trying to understand
yeah, that's
the,
what it would
the
cost, that's
changes.
what I would need to budget for if we were gonna replace it with a new machine of the same thing.
okay.
So that's why that number.
So you're added 43,000 to the 2015 Ford
Yeah,
and moved out 180
right,
to the next year.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then I'd like to bring, to replace the lawnmower and trimmer. I'd like to do that this year instead of next year.
okay, so you're swapping that one.
Yeah, I'd like to do that
That'll be
because
possible.
that research that we did on as far as,
Mhm.
you know, seeing what kind of time a new mower and such would save Dave.
Mhm.
It really, we tried out some and it really did save quite a bit of time. So I think if we went ahead and did something like that, it would free him up for a lot of other things throughout the week,
Okay,
so.
and then did you play with anything else further out? Yeah. Okay,
No,
So that mower is in 22, 23, right?
the mowers and, yeah, for 12,000,
Yep.
23, yep,
And 135 for the
2015 Ford.
for the Ford.
yep, 135 for the Ford, yep.
okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
20, yeah, 2008
28.
to 50.
They-
Uh,
I guess I'd like to put it in for 26, 27 for the roadside mower.
Okay,
How much is it?
how much?
I would say 100. Yeah,
So 2013 roadside mower,
100 for 26, 27?
26, 27, yep.
100,000.
Okay. What other highlights of this do you have and what other treats are in this?
That's it, that's all I like. That's all I had.
Okay, so. Okay. So next fiscal year, 22, 23, you're gonna buy a dump truck. You're gonna buy a new Ford or something to replace the Ford.
Yep.
You're going to get the new lawnmower and trimmer.
Yep.
Yep, okay, and that's it? That's it, okay. All right, police department.
Hi,
Hi,
miss me?
yes, always.
Thank you. So what we're gonna do is, for right now, we're gonna actually, I gotta talk to Mike, because I gotta order this cruiser by the end of the month if we want to get a delivery, this fall. So where we are, 22, 23, going over the mileage over the last couple of years. So right now, what we're gonna plan on doing is moving EQ2 out of 22, 23 and move it to 23, 24.
Mm-hmm,
Then I know probably it lists 3 right there, but what we're going to do is then move EQ3 from 23, 24 over to 24, 25, because we have nothing there.
Right,
Hopefully, depending on the way the mileage goes, maybe we can get back into some sort of a schedule where it's, one a year instead of
Mhm.
piled up. And so what we're going to do is just keep an eye on the mileage. And so even next year, 23, 24, since we'll have EQ2 and EQ5, if it looks like we can push some things out again, another year, we're going to do that. So that's where we
Yeah.
stand on the cruisers.
25, 26, you don't have any.
Right, that's because of the way the rotation is.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking that even like in the where are we, 23, 24, what did I just say? Yeah, so potentially, I mean, if going into moving EQ3 over into 24, 25, I mean, we might see that like next year when we have 2 and 5, the 23, 24, if the mileage is, we may not buy 2, we may push one of those out into 24, 25. And then when we get there, see what the mileage is and how they're all running with, the bills, and maybe even then move one of them into 25, 26. I don't want to just start moving everything right now because,
Mhm.
things can happen. So we're going to look at it on a year-to-year basis, like we did last year and moved one out, move them around.
But we are moving EQ3 out to 24, 25.
Yes.
Okay, Marco, do you
yeah,
have
just
that?
did it, yep.
Okay,
So we have EQ2 and EQ5 in 23, 24.
yes,
Yes.
Okay, do you think that we should put $41,000 we've got the same amount budgeted for the next, 8 years?
So looking at, hold on. Maybe going forward, we may, where the hell is it? Probably we'll obviously have to add some up there. Like right now, the estimated cost right now that we got to replace the cruiser we're going to get this year, if I'm looking at it right now, is about $36,000. But then the remainder of that 41, which you always fall under, is when we have the equipment moved from one car into the other car, that comes out of there, in the siding. And that cost is stayed pretty consistent, if I remember, right, Mike, or not, or?
Yeah, it's usually about the same.
Okay, so, and then again, not knowing what they're all gonna be doing, down the line, if we're all gonna have to go back to horse and buggy or electrical or what, cars, we're gonna have to see from there. But I mean, if you want to, for the cruisers going forward, just, I don't know who buys cars more than I do. I don't know, add another 1,000 to them. I don't know, to be on the safe side. Your guess is as good as mine.
I don't think they'll be going down.
Yeah.
Probably maybe okay for next year, but I think we need to at least add
45.
starting in 23, 24.
Go to what, 45? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
For all of them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, 2 that year. Well, that year, this one's moving over here.
And we may even look to going out and do that. Depending on what other models are out there.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, you might have, Chevy may come back or something, Dodge may, and, I'm still not, I'm waiting to see what other departments are having issues with some of the other cruisers they're having going back to the hybrids and stuff, because I don't think they've been out there long enough to even justify or look at one now, to be honest.
Okay.
So as long as they're still making the gas and stuff the way they are, I think right now, we're going to continue that way. But we'll see.
Okay. And then just jumping down to computers, it looks like we've got for the PD none in the next fiscal year. And then
Right.
one, okay.
Yep.
And that's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't have the updated one. I have what's in front of me. So yeah, because we this year we ended up, because one wasn't working right, so we actually had to get two. So we bought two this year. So yeah, so we're not going to need one in 22, 23. And we're going to keep the 6,300 in there only because when Shelley bought these, the new ones, I don't know the cost off the top of my head, but they actually came in lower than the 6,300.
Okay,
So talking with her, we're going to, just keep it at 63 right now going out. But yeah, we won't be getting anything in 22, 23.
okay. Anything else on the police department?
That is it, unless I missed something, Mike. You're up.
Okay, awesome. Rich? Fire
So,
department.
We started this discussion
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years ago. And, when you look at the dates, basically NFPA says, you should replace your engines every 20 years and your ladder truck every 25. But, we're not running 1,000 calls a month and we don't get the mileage. But they do get old and parts start to get harder to find. Everything should have been replaced already and some stuff twice. And the only thing I've replaced since I've been chief is the attack truck engine one. And we did spend some money in refurb and updates and stuff. But I'm also noticing that we're making more trips over to Twin State. And I'm bothering Travis more than I used to bother Bobby or Gary. So to me, I don't see replacing them just because, again, it's a time on the clock, but eventually it's gonna come down to that I'm gonna have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And, I bought a new truck in May, I think this last year. And I'm still waiting on body, and I ordered the body at the same time, so, they're thinking I'm not gonna see the body until maybe June of next year now.
Oh, my God.
I talked with Larry Dingy up in, who's built most of our fire trucks about a month or 6 weeks ago. We went out and had lunch up in New Hampshire. And, we stopped and looked at a truck he had ordered a year before, and the chassis just came in, and that was because he had some pull with the manufacturers and they kind of moved, or with the dealers, they moved some stuff around and he was feeling pretty fortunate. So again, it's like, I don't want to replace them, but I also don't want to be coming to you guys telling me my repair budget just went to $100,000 because we put 2 engines and a transmission in trucks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, you can look at the years of the truck, the 84, I call it the rollover Mac, that's been rebuilt a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the only trucks that doesn't have a computer, so it is kind of nice, and it's probably one of the nicest running trucks there. It's running to 1,250 gallon pump, and it consistently checks out every year over 1,500 gallons a minute, where the 1,500 gallon a minute trucks barely, make 1,500 gallons a minute, maybe like 8 gallons over that. So, but it's also getting more difficult because that's our only standard that's left, and we're finding fewer and fewer people know how to drive a standard transmission, especially an old Mac with square gears. So, so you see where things are laid out. That ladder truck has always been a pain in the ass. I remember back when no one was here because it's such a big number. It makes Travis's, excavator look small. But eventually, we're gonna have to do something about that. But right now, it tends to run good, but there's quite a bit of electronics from that. And we, a 3 years ago, we did a $7,000 or $10,000 update. We got rid of some old micro switches and put some other kind of switch in. It's supposed to be a lot better. It wasn't available when we had that truck built. So last year we moved the pickup out of here. You guys had asked me to do that because Travis needed something else. Travis gets everything. Mom always liked Travis better.
Sorry, Rich, sorry.
No, it's fine, it's not a big deal, but so I have those 2, I'd like to replace them this year. I do have a meeting plan with the officers and Larry next Monday to talk about rethinking some of our trucks and how we do things, because we don't have as many people as we used to. We have less people that are experienced with driving trucks. So we're gonna rethink the utility truck, and now that we're doing a lot, or there's the possibility of a lot more backwoods rescue stuff happening, with, you know, with ski trails opening up out in the woods and whatnot. So I'm not, that's a Randy word, whatnot. Sorry, Randy, I stole your word.
Whatnot.
Raise that word.
I talked to his dad here. So I like where things are at, but again, I'm also looking for some guidance because, you know, like Travis's trucks and Randy's things run every day. And, you know, when it's snowing, he needs to have his truck. You know, and I always joke that you can't use the bulldozer to plow snow, but you can't use a plow truck to push dirt, you know, when you have a flood. So,
Right,
so there's some things that we just need, and that's kind of how I feel about the fire trucks. When I need them, but I may not need them for a while, or they run till they run. So I'm not sure what your folks' thoughts on that are, and how we move things out. But I'm also, again, with everything having so much electronics, wire just tends to break down, it tends to get brittle. I think Travis would agree with me. And especially getting corroded, because, you know, we tend to go out. When do we go out is when the cars slide off the road, because, you know, we got a little bit of snow and people forgot how to drive from last winter. So we do get into the corrosion a little bit more too.
mhm,
You know, where like Travis was saying, his excavator doesn't have any corrosion, which is really neat. So again, I would ask that you keep the two that you have now, and that I am very flexible on the other ones, but I am looking for some guidance from you guys, and you don't have to do it now, where you move other stuff in the future. And maybe we have the stuff maintain their spot, and then we just look at it, you know, every year. And I don't know, do you need to move stuff this year or not? And so that's kind of where I'm at. And then the fire gear, is, we've been doing that. We did that a few years ago because instead of raising the operational budget for gear a lot higher, we thought gear is supposed to be replaced every so many years by an PA. We go a little bit over, and you're really not supposed to use more than the last 2 generations of gear back. But we've got a lot of good stuff. The hard thing is I get gear for the, you know, 10 to 15 to 20 guys that are here this year. Next year, I've got 12 of those guys and I've got 8 new guys. So
yeah,
it's a little bit of a balancing act, but if we can leave that in there too, we'll get prices. And, you know, I probably will, like I wouldn't get new gear, and Mike probably wouldn't, some of the officers who don't go in buildings as much, but try to get new gear for the interior guys.
okay. Marco,
Mhm.
so now has the capital equipment money been moved this year into
No,
allocated to
but
the
this
fund?
formula works.
Okay.
And I fixed the other one in capital building.
Okay.
So, yeah, so what you see is you will end up with 299,852 left over at the end of 22-23.
So that works.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, okay, because the only thing we actually, well, we added 43,000 to the Ford 2015, so it's 100 and.
yes,
Right, which you,
135.
okay,
Yeah.
but based on this one, sorry, I have so many different
Yeah,
numbers.
these
here.
versions, right.
Okay. So we're okay,
Yeah,
we're okay. If we raise 500,000,
yes.
okay.
We
Joe?
need to have these cushions built in, because if we do,
When we
You
come
know,
to one of these
yeah,
big fire trucks,
right.
it's gonna, and
But-
they're coming, I mean, there's no doubt about it. We can only push so long, and we appreciate you trying to keep everything serviceable, but eventually it's gonna catch up to us, and that,
I just didn't want to get blamed.
No.
Down the road, I now need 2 trucks in the same year. Why didn't we do one last year? And that was the only reason I wanted to have this discussion with you guys.
yes, Dan.
How much has the maintenance gone up on, you know, like over the last couple of years to keep these things running properly?
Well, I think last year was a lot worse. Marco may remember the numbers, but this year I had gotten off a year because of COVID. And we stopped kind of drilling, so I wasn't tracking it as well. But this year, everything went over to Twin State. and got service, and I'm very happy with them because they tend to fix things well. And it's tough for Travis, because, you know, he's getting yelled at to mow something, and then to do this, and do that, and hey, Travis, my truck doesn't start. So instead of asking him to do the service like that, we bring it over there, and they're, you know, they have the computers to check the codes and stuff, so it works out well. This year, I think I spent I just put in 2 more invoices. I think they came in on Tuesday, so they haven't gone out payroll yet, or they haven't been paid yet, but I think I'm about at my limit. I think I'm about what I budgeted this year. Next year, it should be less unless we have a problem, because they won't go for service. And I was trying to split them up. I was trying to do half each year so that I could kind of level that out. And because of last year, I got off, so there was a surplus last year, but 2 years previous, it was pretty substantial. But that's when we kind of moved away from having the town do as much service of them. And you know, I talked to Bobby Holland and with Gary still, he was still on the firehouse, and we thought it would be better to bring them over there and have those guys do it instead of trying to make the highway crew do it in between their other duties. And it's still, I don't want to pick on Travis, but he's great, because if I call him up and say, hey, the truck wouldn't start, he'll come right over. And he's done some stuff, and he's also helped me go pick up trucks and drop trucks off, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, vehicles, parts for firehouse, like this year, you're 42% what you budgeted, so.
Okay, so I still have pump tests in
That's
spring, and.
Yeah.
And we, like I said, I think I got another $4,000 worth of invoices I just sent.
Okay.
Okay. Any more comments about the capital equipment fund? It looks like if we raise 500,000, we can stay good for now. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Randy, we're doing paving now, so you can chill out for a while, I'm sure. Usually paving doesn't take that long. All right. Travis, talk to us about paving. Let me get to the paving. All right,
Paving's changed quite a bit.
okay. Here we go. I don't see a lot of changing. Paving. Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess the first question I have about this, did you get our paving done all?
No. They're coming back in the spring to grind and repave that up by Jim Sweeney's back to the filter.
But they got the majority of that.
Yep.
So in their contract, were they supposed to get everything done? How was that all worked out? Good question, or?
In the contract, everything was supposed to be done.
So are they gonna do it next year at this year's price? Was that the?
They're gonna do it in the spring. That they're.
Before June
price
30th.
down.
They're bid-
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I see a lot of movement here on which roads we're attacking
Yes.
next year.
Yep. Blue Brook is added. There's a bunch of new on that.
For Blue Brook, we're gonna get some pavement on Blue Brook?
Resurface what's there currently.
Yeah.
And then new up past Tim Snow's almost to the covered bridge that goes across the river.
Really? That road's up to where you guys can get some.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll make some taxpayers happy.
Paving Captain Copeland this year made so many people happy, and it,
People loved it, yeah.
it is gonna
The
make-
general consensus when we were doing it, they were stopping
oh my gosh, keep going.
But that part can be really terrible, so
Yes.
that is a major improvement. So some people want it, obviously Holland Road, they don't want it, see, plenty of other people
You
want
don't
it,
have
so,
to have everything paid, just
no,
little by little.
that's right. Okay, then we're gonna keep,
No, I'm just saying, Ami, it was a beautiful job, really well done. All the neighbors and the people and up in my neck of the woods have been really happy. It's made a huge difference and so it's just amazing to have it done. So thank you very much.
and honestly, this is the first year we've really gone out and done some new paving. And that's something that we should definitely talk about at town meeting, that, we wanted to do some, but until we got everything up to a level that we could maintain it,
I mean,
there was
Bob,
no
this-
way.
You guys have done amazing in previous years, even before I was here, like Bob and you guys had all just ground everything up, started fresh, so, I'm left with a lot of good.
Yeah,
We get through these next couple of years here, I wanna start looking into, instead of resurfacing and keep layering the blacktop on, I wanna look into maybe seal coating the stuff and making what we got last instead of keep layering the blacktop on. That's
okay,
in the future.
that's good. So, all right, so we have new and resurfacing of Blue Brook,
Yep,
and we kept Circle View,
yes,
okay?
yep, that is in need of just resurface.
Then we took out Crosstown.
Yep, I pushed that back a year,
Mm-hmm.
Crosstown and Country Club Road for next year.
And then we brought in Heritage. No, we pushed Heritage out.
Heritage is in for this year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's new too. I wanna resurface what's there. There's a section of the
No,
hill.
no, that isn't in for this year.
It should
You mean
be,
22, 23?
it should be in for 22-23.
Yeah,
Is it-
Heritage Drive.
Heritage Drive.
Heritage Drive, 2417.
Maybe
You may have
not. Oh, it's only 528. Okay, I was looking at the one above it that moved out.
You said Country Club?
I'm trying to compare what was in the town report last year with this.
I have-
And that's
I have
why I'm
multiple-
going crazy,
I've
looking
got multiple
back and
copies as
forth at
well.
everything and,
Yeah.
so that's me. I'm trying to look at
See
what
what's
has changed
Yes,
from here, and I have to look at this sheet of paper in this column and then say, oh, which one is that?
yes.
So, sorry,
No,
I
it's
just
fine.
want to know what changed here, and I have to offset them because the columns
Did
aren't
you
the
say you're
same.
doing Country Club in 22, 23?
Crosstown and Country Club, do the whole loop, all as one next year. The whole thing,
So that's the.
from this end to the 7-Eleven end by the park, the whole thing.
Okay, because I'm not showing anything.
Is that the 9504 combined?
That's
Country
cross-
Club,
for both?
4224,
It's in 23-24.
2324.
Okay,
You have
Okay.
Right above the 9504.
okay. How much was?
Travis came in this morning
Yeah,
and we made some changes.
yeah, I found some stuff that I had in the state on for this
We
year.
took a break from plowing. came to see
Yeah.
me.
So anyways, the Heritage Drive, that is paved to the top of the hill, dirt up across the flat, and it starts in with Sugar House Road on the backside. That part of the hill is paved, and then it's back to dirt, back down to Dover Hill. I wanna just pave the whole loop.
Mhm.
The sections that are currently paved need resurfacing. So I put in for enough to.
I printed this off earlier today.
New
Oh, my God.
resurface, what they say.
Oh, my. I know, I no wonder, I'm like, wait a
What
minute.
I emailed you though was,
That's,
yeah.
We need a.
I was like, whoa, this is not even the same
sorry, I thought.
conversation.
I can print more.
Sorry.
We just need a.
No, I have one right
Okay.
here. Now, I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay. Okay.
see Heritage is in for 2417.
I do.
That's resurface old, do some new, same with Sugar House, 2313. That's to resurface what's there and to add new to connect to Dover Hill Road. I want to continue to do Spruce Haven, 528 feet. Want to do Maple Hill Loop as well. And Lower Handle Road from Tannery Road. I'd like to do that, 8,448. I'm gonna look at getting a class 2 paving grant. I'm gonna apply it. I think we should do it anyways, but I'm gonna try to apply and get some money for that, because that's a class 2 and I can get a grant for that.
8448, oh, you have under Lower Handle?
Which
Yeah,
includes
that's
part
That's the
from Tannery to the town line?
Yeah, to the
Okay.
Wilmington line, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's getting broken up pretty bad, so I think we ought to get something on it.
What was that pipe in the road there?
Yeah, it seems awesome. The repair that Mount Snow did to Handle Road is thumbs up with that. It's been great.
Oh, it goes through the window.
Yeah, it's good.
So I have a question, Travis.
Yeah.
So now that I'm looking at the right sheets, the total length you're doing is longer than what you had planned in last year's. Last year, for 22-23, we had 21,740.
Yeah.
In feet.
Yep.
But and last year, the tons required was gonna be 8163,
Right,
and now we need less,
yes,
because some's resurfacing.
a lot of it's
Okay,
resurfacing, yes.
Just trying
It's
to
not-
understand this.
Yep, because last year's stuff, a lot of it was the 2-inch base, inch of top, so
Okay.
that.
So our dollars are we're gonna get
You're
more
going
done.
farther. Yes,
Yes,
we're gonna get more footage done for less money.
okay. Gotta like that, Joe.
And squeaking in some new.
And squeak it in some
Well,
new.
probably me, that, because I walk my dog on my road, it's pretty thin spots.
Yes,
So just be aware of making sure we get at least the inch.
yep,
So have we added a escalator on the cost of pavement?
yes.
Okay,
I went up on the,
76.
from 72 to 76. I budgeted per ton.
okay,
I talked to a couple vendors, they didn't think it was gonna be that high, but, you know, that put us in the safe, you know? It's not gonna be that high, but it's gonna be up from what it was last year. They said maybe around $5, so.
so if we raise 600,000. We're gonna go in the,
You'll be in the negative, I mean, you'll be flat, like negative 13,000 for 23, I'm sorry.
11 for,
Yeah, 11,489,
and that's if
next
it's
year,
at 76 too.
Right.
I mean, that's easily,
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's just,
so. How much do we have left to spend in this year's capital paving?
so what was left this year is 48,000. We take 48,000, add the
But we
600,000.
still owe the paving company, right? They
No,
have,
we're caught up with them. We're
What they've
caught up
done.
with what's done.
right, so
They need
how,
to come in and do the grinding job and the resurfacing.
So we had 48,000 left at June 30th. Was that supposed to cover everything that happened this past year, or do we started paving after
yes, we
June
did.
30th, so it's in
Yes.
this
It's in
year.
this
It's in
fiscal
this
year.
year.
It's fine,
It's
it's
in
good,
this year.
yeah.
So, but we have enough money left
Yeah.
in this fiscal year to cover the rest of what's due
Yep,
when they get done, I know, I'm asking,
I think so.
what do we got left?
we will, because we started with 48, so I don't know what's in there right now.
Okay.
Because we should have,
We are paid up with everything we've done so far.
Right, so I don't know how much the cost is of what we've
The
got,
grinding was around 45,000,
okay,
you know.
Which we use a different company, right?
No, so it's all the same this year.
right.
It's all the same.
All the same, yeah. So they should have resurfacing. More resurfacing to do, plus the grinding.
Okay,
You know, obviously they're gonna replace what's been ground.
Okay. All right, that doesn't look bad. I mean, last year we went down to 600,000 on the appropriation for paving.
So, the question on the, when you do country club and crosstown,
Yes.
you know how we have that, it's riches in land, you know, we park it in dirt. Would that make sense to maybe put some pavement in there?
At where?
You know, where the park, you know.
Oh, yeah, the park for the parking, the pull off for the park.
Yeah, where we.
Oh,
put
yeah, we
dirt.
can do that.
Well, I'm just saying, well, first you have to have rich, it's not our land.
Oh,
If
it's not?
No, we haven't agreed to use it.
Well, that's the other thing too.
Rich Kaplan.
Yeah, so that's something that if he doesn't have an issue with it, it's not a lot of cost and it would make it for a better experience year round as opposed to an easier to plow.
Yeah.
He may say, okay, you're already right there.
Yeah.
Dropping the box, going in, you know, it's just
We
basically.
put some fresh gravel in there this year.
Right, so I mean, I'm just thinking about making that connection with Rich and see what he says.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So,
And get a cost on that.
and then we're
Yeah.
prepped for that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, that's the other thing too,
I'm really worried about Dover Hill Road this winter. You can't see that road at all at night. Thank God we put the white lines on the sides. It is like a black.
Because the state didn't do the yellow.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Thank goodness we did that. We're gonna have accidents. You just cannot see anything on that road at night, and particularly if it's wet. Forget it. And so,
Right, late towards the last of, towards this end of this fall, when we were getting our paving done. I think it was.
Yeah, they couldn't get paid.
October. Marlboro got their yellow
I know.
lines done.
and Dummerston got theirs going up over the
Right.
mountain. Yep.
Yeah.
If we didn't have those white lines that we
Yeah,
paid to
then
do,
we- Yes.
there's no way. Oh, there will be, because you just, and if you don't know that
You
road,
don't
you
know.
cannot see it.
Reflectors are really helpful.
So be aware, police department, Dover Hill, I predict is gonna be a nightmare this winter.
Oh, that's pretty predictions.
Mhm. I'm sorry. I mean, I went home from one of these meetings the other night and it was dark and it was wet and I was like, oh my God, the road, you just cannot see it. And I know that road, so I can't imagine other people. So it is what it
The
is.
reflectors definitely help. Every year we put them down and take them up through by the Cooper Hill Lodge,
Mhm.
because you lose your way, you'll end up out in the field,
See ya.
you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to land in one of those houses
Snow and everything else, I mean. it
coming
happens.
down from this way to that way. It's so easy to go off the road there. Yeah, so. All right. I think
so
we're.
when you, sorry, for the next paving season, that
Next-
starts after June 30, right?
Yes.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay,
Yeah.
so we're good because we have,
After July.
right, we'll have over 200,000,
Oh, good,
yeah.
good. Okay. All right. Any questions on capital paving? Okay. So now we're gonna continue our general budget.
I'll recirculate
Yep, thank
these
you.
as with updates
I appreciate
to
that.
everybody.
Our general budget review.
Which I can print more, I just wasn't sure of what it was, what the discussion was gonna be around, so.
Well, we have some, there's a big thing about pay.
That thing.
That's
Right.
a big thing, and I don't know if everybody's wants to talk about it now. We're gonna have to have another budget meeting. I can.
Yeah, so that's why it's like until that, get a little more light on that, then we can start plugging in some different numbers.
Mhm. And Randy, do you have anything you want to say?
So I guess just if you're not really going to make a decision, I have my spreadsheet pulled up. Another reason why I'm here, in case you guys had come to some kind of a rough estimate on what you're thinking of a percentage overall. I could obviously, and I should have mentioned it at the last meeting, but I didn't have the whole towns, but I did have, different scenarios of what the budget would look like, just compared to a straight 3% working up through what I proposed to you guys. Just to, I guess, to continue, if you're going to probably hold another meeting, maybe to discuss this, just a little bit more food to thought, on the police department is, one thing that really has never happened here at the police department, even under, Bobby's administration. I know back many years ago, they asked him to do a step proposal, which included certain training, and every time he did one, the previous boards, which nobody sitting there now was on these boards, never went with it. They're always just going by, year to year, whatever they, the board wanted to do. Since I took over, obviously I've always tried to get my staff as much as I can to be comparable, as I've talked many years in the past, with other agencies, because, police is different. And I know we've had this conversation briefly, and I mean this sincerely when I say this. All due respect to highway, all due respect to people in the town office. Policing is just completely different. And that's who, when we look to hire, that's, I'm going after that pool of people who want to become a cop, not a pool of who wants to work on the highway, not a pool who wants to work at Mount Snow, in a supermarket, in a town office, or whatever. So that's the pool that we go at. With that being said, and then, in response to, I guess, what, made me start thinking a little bit more about it, when Travis was talking about giving, I think a greater guy, another $1, because of going to that. So the one thing here that never did, because I guess I don't know, different thoughts of it, that I have officers that have gone to specialized training. And with that specialized training, I think sending them to them in the long run has saved us money from sending my officers to other agencies that are mandated, that we need to have firearms qualification. So we have firearms instructors that's specialized. Non-lethal use of force, as you know, because of the policy, that's 4 hours now a year that we're mandated to have up and above, the other hours that they mandate us. I, at one time, was a use of force instructor here, went to a school to do that. Right now, Sam is that. Sam is specialized not only in the use of force, but also taser. Sam is also specialized in the DRE, the drug recognition. So all this is specialized. I've got 2 people that are death investigators. Becky, for example, another specialized schooling. She's gone to make herself better, this town better, as far as, investigating stuff. She's went to a school where she's a child sexual assault, severe child abuse and neglect, and adult sexual assault. She's gone to advanced training on that, specializing in stuff. So we never really did a raise with that, because if we did that, I could be coming in every year, specializing. So I guess just on my standpoint, and Mike, feel free to speak in as well. So I think I would like to continue with what I proposed for my officers. I get that there may be some town employees that are me like, well, the police department got this and the police department got that. I can say is join the police department and become specialized in some of these trainings. I'm trying to be respectful of it. I get it. I mentioned before that, yes, my staff has been approached, from other agencies. I think the other thing here too is by allowing my staff to be interested in doing this kind of specialized training, keeps their interest in policing, their interest in staying here in a small department because they know they can get this specialized training, because we do have these issues, and not move on. There's something else I was just going to add on top of that, but yeah, I mean, that, like I said, it keeps their interest in the policing and to stay here in this community, and not go where else and just say, no, we're not going to do it and stuff like that. And then it's like, well, it sucks to be here and, I'm going to move on to someplace else. So I'm happy to answer any more questions on it. I think Mike, if he has some thoughts, I think, along this line, in case I missed something, we briefly talked about it the other day. So.
Randy, could you clarify, because I think our minutes, I think people are confused about what you're really asking for across the board. Because I think we accepted minutes with the wrong number in it.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is just 8% for my officers, straight across. I was asking 5.9 for my admin, for Shelley. As you know, she also does stuff with her 911, and she was just on your meeting the other night and stuff like that. So that's where I'm going. Where it was mentioned, and I brought in, the conversation with Wilmington. Wilmington was going 8% plus the 5.9. So that you're looking at what, 13.9, and of course, who's going there? At this point, I was just going a straight 8 for my officers, and 5.9 for Shelley, my admin. So I think that helps clarify.
I know I was confused at the last meeting. And so we accepted minutes that said 11.9. We did, at our last meeting. So we need to make sure we write something.
We had 8. For the calculations, I had 8.
Mhm, but
the
minutes.
Yeah.
it looked like you were adding 5.9 and 8, and I don't,
Should be 13.
and yeah, with 13.9. So 8%. So I was not 100% clear. Randy and I had a conversation earlier today about that. So so it's 8. And the numbers reflect 8, correct, Marco?
Correct.
Marco was what Marco knew. Okay.
I'm sorry. So just, I guess the other thing. So the only other thing I guess I'll comment, and again, food for thought, and Mike, please jump in if you want anything to add, is I think if the board, I think, and this is going to maybe go a little bit less than, say 8% or whatever it is. I'll have a conversation and we'll think about it. And if we're going to go down that route of raises for specialized training, then I'll probably come back in and ask for raises based on what I just mentioned on, my officers. Like I said, they also have field training officers, that we've gone. I was that at one point where we get new cadets, new candidates here. We train them here. You've got to have specialized training to do that training. If we don't have it, then there's a potential that they need to go off and I'll have to send them off to another agency. Now they're being trained by how another agency operates in the way they do things and not the way Dover does things. So again, this is all, like I said, specialized training, and maybe how I'm sounding, I'm not sure, but regardless, I think whatever you guys come up with, and depending if you have a conversation I'm gonna have to have with my sergeant, and I may come back in then and try to boost it up a little bit more instead of doing just a catch-all for my officers and just go with the 8. And I think, Mike, if this would be a perfect opportunity, if you want to add, if I missed something or.
He doesn't think you've missed anything, Randy.
I think that's the argument.
So, because I was thinking 5.9 and 8, so this changes my thinking. And when I talked to Randy this morning, I don't know if anybody else was confused here.
I
that they
was
were
not
thinking.
confused at all. 5.9 from Michelle, 8% from the whole.
Okay, but then the minutes,
There was
everybody.
Proposal 1, and there were other proposals, but that was the primary proposal.
It was the primary proposal, I understood.
I wasn't confused because I had a 2-hour
But we
conversation.
accepted minutes and nobody objected to the minutes that said 11.9. Yes, and so that's why I was really getting confused, so, and I should have questioned it at the meeting, because I didn't understand that 11.9. So,
I'm going to listen to it again, 'cause that's what was said, that's what's written.
I know, and so I just, for clarification, it's 8 and 5.9 for the admin is what he's asking for.
And so should we now vote to amend those minutes so that for historical record, they're correct?
I don't, okay, hold on, I think research,
Yeah, I would like to listen to it again.
Yes.
Because I can't just fix it if you think that's what he said. You know,
Okay.
if he actually said 11.9 and I
Well-
wrote 11.9, then.
The documents that he presented.
yeah, but we had a lot, it's, the minutes are based on conversation.
Okay,
Right,
right.
So, I think that that's fair, and we can correct that at the next meeting.
Okay.
And we should warn it, but there is a correction that needs to be made.
Yeah.
So, okay,
That's not on the record.
yes. What else? Anybody else have any other general budget conversations? So I think the select board's gonna need an executive session to talk about, and we need to warn that and have an executive session, because we don't have one warned. At the next meeting, to have an executive session to discuss the salaries across the board situation. So that's probably what we're gonna do. Okay, everybody good with that?
Sure.
Okay, so please put that on, Jeanette, I appreciate that. All right, anything else on the general budget? And Marco's gonna circulate new budget, and new capitals. All right, the other thing on our agenda, and this was added after we had the close call in the town office the other day. Do we want to add a mask mandate for indoors? Have we heard from our business community that they want this?
I got a text from Lincoln last morning, know if there was Snow Mountain Market, if there was a mandate.
Just wanting to know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was,
Eric, thank you for appearing. Have we had business owners ask, is this something we want to do or plead with it? Last time they were asking for it.
Last time they were asking for it, I haven't had anybody directly asking for it. They have been asking, you know, like,
Yeah.
since Wilmington did theirs, like, hey, are we gonna do ours again? I think businesses are, if they really want masking right now, are asking for it anyway. And I think if people feel it necessary to wear a mask right now, they're wearing a mask. If they don't, they're not. There hasn't been any direct request for it.
I was approached by one community member who was adamant that we had to do it.
Are
One
they-
person.
Are they a business
No,
owner?
they are not a business owner, but they were.
Because
very-
really, it was the business community
Right.
that last
they were
time
quite
really pushed.
disgruntled.
Jeanette?
I know I've had a couple of calls from people, wondering if Dover is going to do it. I also got a letter from, and these are not local people, but they're the Vermont Retail and Grocers Association in Berlin, Vermont. Respectfully requesting that if individual municipalities mandate facial coverings for all customers, the appropriate municipal agents or personnel be charged with enforcing the order.
So I know from hearing from what happened at Wilmington that there's going to be no enforcement. I mean, and honestly, it went into effect right after their meeting the other night. Last night in Shaw's, half the people were not masked. Now, they have different retail than we do. They have box stores. They have very crowded small shops. We have the mountain, our most, and they're going to control it themselves. Vail has got that totally locked down on their own. I fully support any business who wants to say, put a mask on and or else you don't get service. I fully support that. But heading into the winter, can we expect our police department to come to 7-Eleven because somebody doesn't have a mask on if they're not creating a disturbance? Can we?
And just correct, just Randy, weren't you saying that even if the town doesn't have a mandate, if the store mandates it, they can call on someone So the town doesn't have to create the mandate for the individual stores to make that choice for themselves, right? You're
muted.
The other way. Absolutely. It goes to, and I've mentioned this in the past when we did this, just like anything else. So if a specific store, posts signs that to enter our establishment, you must wear a mask. If a person comes in unmasked, that establishment can say, hey, we require you to wear a mask. If you don't, please leave. If that customer, patron, whatever, still refuses, then that business can contact us. We will go down there and then we will deal with that person and basically say, look, this is their policy. You need to wear a mask or leave. And then the options are basically really comes down to two: one, leave, or now that you're being asked to leave and you're not leaving, now you have a trespass issue. So they can be arrested that way. That would be the enforcement. That way it's up to the, the business. And I think obviously I'm, fully vaccinated and, wear a mask when and wherever required. I've gone into buildings that says they want to wear one, and you respect that if you want to do business at that establishment. If you don't like their policy, just like you may not like their food, don't visit that establishment. I think it will just cause more. I think I brought it back up in the beginning and we started to keep track. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know if Mike can remember, but I remember a couple of occasions, even on my day off, I'm sitting at 7-Eleven getting gas. And I've had a customer come out and just swearing and stuff like that. Oh, what's with this mask mandate? And, and stuff like that. And it just, I think my opinion, it's going to cause more of, a heartache. And I'm going to just say this, read this one paragraph. And it's from the VLC model face covering rule guidance. This was given out towards the chiefs in an email, and anybody can go to VLCT and get this. And it says, if you adopt, and they have a couple of different models that you can go by, an enforcement one and a non-enforcement one, two different models. But it basically goes, this model rule should be customized to suit the particular needs of your municipality, giving careful consideration to each element in light of your community's resources and expectations. Opportunities, then it talks about the policy itself. It goes, opportunities for editing this rule are marked with italicized text. The select board should consult with law enforcement to ensure that the provisions of this rule are relevant, realistic in terms of resources needed for enforcement. And it talks about a couple other things. So when this was being mentioned through the chief's email as well, because before, right after the governor had, I guess, signed this executive order that, that allows municipalities to do that, some chiefs were putting out an email saying, how are they handling it? So a lot of chiefs hadn't really came out with a response other than just saying, our select board are going to be discussing it. They're saying that other chiefs are saying, it's not going to be an enforceable through the police department. I remember reading one that's saying that COVID is a health issue. So if there's an ordinance and a violation, it should be dealt with through the health department of the town, and not municipality.
At that time?
Also, there was, emails that they were going to enforce it just the way I just mentioned to you, that again, it's up to the establishment and, they can go trespass. So it's all over the spectrum as far as law enforcement is concerned through the state. So other than that, I'll end there. I don't think it should be mandated, other than the select board wanted to make something that they stand by. Any businesses that wish to do either or would be a good proclamation, I guess. That's my opinion, but that's all I got.
Sarah?
I just had a question. If there is a mask mandate, and does that create a situation where a private citizen is going to become sort of a vigilante about it and be calling the police on people?
They could.
The store is not making a big deal out of it?
Yeah, Mike can answer that because he's probably seen more of that. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that's my opinion of it, is that that's the key difference
as of right now, if the store makes a policy and any store employee representing that store asks someone to leave, they need to leave. If not, they're trespassing, regardless of the reason. You don't even have to have a reason. Putting a mandate in place allows the public to then start making those calls on behalf of someone not wearing a
Didn't you
mask.
have some of those calls before?
Yes, we did, and.
Mask vigilantes.
But even the way that it was dealt with before was, kind of an education thing, because if the store's not asking to leave then.
Right.
Jump to public.
We're not enforcing what you guys did last time. So I still think that the best bet is for the store to make that call, and if they want them gone and they don't leave, we ask them to leave. That's pretty much as simple as it. We're not trying to make ourselves more paperwork either at that point. And that's the thing with the enforcement part, it becomes a municipal ticket. So then if we have somebody that doesn't agree with the mask mandate, okay, I'll take the ticket, I'll pay the fine, I'm gonna shop here. Then are they trespassing and we can do it? Or they want to fight that ticket in court, then we're paying overtime hours for our officers to go sit in court.
Eric, did you have a comment?
Yeah, so as of today, there are 13 Vermont towns with a mandate, none of them are ski towns. I think over the past week and a half or even a little before, I've been in every active business in Dover handing out Eat, Sleep, Shop local packets and things like that. They all have signage on the doors already, basically saying if you're not vaccinated, please wear a mask. If you are vaccinated, please come in. Anyone who wants masks already has signage for masks. I don't think another mandate is necessary.
Other comments? So I agree with Eric's idea that we should come up with some verbiage that we support our local businesses in making their own decisions, and we fully support that. It doesn't mean anything, but it says that we do support that. I completely, personally support that. You have to make it for your own situation, whether you have immunocompromised people or a very close space. You have to make those decisions as a business all the time. So I would support doing that as well. Dan?
Everybody has no shirts, no shoes, ski boots, it's all the same thing. Yeah. So if we add this to it, it's up to the store owner. I have a sign on my store that says, please wear a mask. People walk up. If they see the sign, they go get a mask and they come in. No one ever fights it.
Yes, Eric?
I don't think we're dealing with the same type of backlash over a mask, a business asking for someone to wear a mask that we were when this thing started. We're almost 2 years into it at this point, and people aren't used to wearing a mask into a business when they ask for it, like they've been under a rock. So it's not like we're leaving that massive burden on the businesses like we were possibly doing the first time around, because there's really not all that much outrage about having to wear a mask into a business.
Yeah. Anybody have any other comments about it? All right, so we're gonna need to schedule a meeting, and maybe at that time we can put together this letter, notice of support for the business community to make their own decisions on this, and something maybe, I don't know, Eric, do you have any ideas how to word that? You're working it, oh, okay, but
I'll send it around,
yeah. We're not gonna do it today.
No, I'm just trying to put some language.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. So another meeting, I think we should do executive session first, so then we can really get the budget put together. Otherwise, it's gonna be another meeting. So what's everybody's schedules as we get into this busy time? And this meeting probably won't be super long, and then open it into the next budget session to clean things up. What are schedules for everybody this coming week? I don't want to have to push it to the next week, which is the week before the holidays begin.
We have to do it.
I would like to try to do it next week if we can.
Yes,
Which
but
is-
we can't do it tomorrow. We need at least
No, we
28
can't.
hours for warning.
We have to warn it.
That's what I was just.
Hey, Vicky.
Well, we let you go home and just.
Yes, Randy?
Yeah, so I just have a question. When you say you go into executive session, is that just strictly the board or or?
No, it's the board to discuss this. We
Okay.
haven't really been able to discuss the
Okay,
myriad of pay requests, amongst ourselves. And we need to sit down and talk about that.
okay. Wasn't curious if you're department heads or not. You know, I think at this point, I think you've heard.
I think if we
I
have-
It's a good point that it's just you guys yourselves and amongst
Mhm.
interruption, so you know how we think. Thank you.
And then if we have questions, we'll come out, explain our reasoning for what we came to, and you guys will all be available for that.
Okay,
Okay, so if we do that before the budget meeting starts, then you guys can be right here when we come out and you'll be good.
okay.
Does that work for everybody? Okay, so a date. Next week? It's only gonna get harder to schedule if it's not next week.
No, I'm just trying to think about what.
No, I think that, I mean, we could do 4.
Not Monday, because it's a payroll day.
No,
Okay. I was gonna say, because we canceled this trail meeting, so.
That was on Tuesday.
I can't do
Oh, no,
Tuesday at all.
That's Vicky's.
Can we do Thursday again?
Thursday, the.
16th?
So if we do it at 4, there's no way.
I might have to zoom it.
That's okay. If we do it 4, that's good for Scott. And then we'll and then we'll start the open meeting for budget immediately after executive session, and I don't see that going more than half an hour at the most.
Hour.
You think an hour for the executive session? What? Half an hour for the executive session, and then plan to start the regular meeting at 4:30.
This is just about
Just budget. Oh, and if we come up with that letter of support. Okay, so 4:30, 4 for executive session, 4:30 with anybody who wants to be here. All members of the public. And that way, if we put that, okay, yeah, it's good. Good? Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay, with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 4:55 PM.
Thank you.